welcome to the Family Diplomacy Dialogues. My name is Paul Lachelier. I'm the founder and the director of Learning Life. These dialogues are intended to get us to learn about each other through the prism of family. So to learn about similarities, differences, and the challenges that families are facing across the world. This is a way for us of exercising a kind of basic form of family diplomacy. And we're doing this monthly, started in March all the way to November, every month on the first Sunday of the month from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time here in Washington, D.C. area. Eastern time is also New York time. Um, and so we encourage you, and this is important, we're going to have four different presentations to actually ask questions and do that even while they're still presenting. Write your questions in the Zoom chat and just prepare questions and also comments, because the idea is to kind of get a sense of what you think are differences or similarities, and also your own kind of thoughts on whatever the person is sharing. So by all means, share that in the Zoom chat, and then we'll be discussing that in between each of the presentations. So there'll be four presentations, and I'm going to share with you right now who is presenting and in what order. So let me put that in the Zoom chat. So we've got Angel, and actually, Angel, you'll have to pronounce your first name in the real way it's pronounced in Mandarin Chinese. Who's joining us actually from the United States, but is from China. She's actually also one of our interns. She's going to be going first. Then we're hoping to get Sergio Oscar Aluni. I will message him again, who will be joining us from Argentina. But if he doesn't join, we'll go directly to Chia, who's joining us from, as I mentioned, United Arab Emirates, but comes from Cameroon, and he's one of our family diplomats. And then lastly, Adrian Mata, who is going to be presenting as from a family from the U.S., but who has kind of experience living abroad because he comes from a military family. So I've encouraged each of our presenters to present slides. If they do or not, by all means, ask questions, and we'll be taking photos of those. But just remember, please do write your comments and your thoughts, your questions in the Zoom chat in preparation for discussion, because we're going to proceed from one to the next and break in between each presentation to talk about what they've discussed. And by all means, make connections between the different presentations. Each of the presenters, lastly, will have 5 minutes. Actually, Mari, can you do me a favor and time the presentations? So they've got 5 minutes each, and just give them some sort of a signal, perhaps in the Zoom chat, just indicate if they've got 1 minute left. Okay. All right. Angel, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, you go first.
Thank you. Can everyone see my shared screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Is this also seeable? Is
Is what?
is this seen? Because I tried to make it bigger,
Oh,
like make.
it's not bigger yet. You still have to complete
Oh,
the
okay. Let
presenter
me share it again.
presentation mode.
Sorry, this is the wrong one. Okay. Uh, is this mix
Yep.
bigger?
Perfect.
Okay, good. Hi everyone, I'm Angel, and as Paul said, my legal name is not Angel, which is 孔卓. It's my Chinese character to say how to say my name. And today I will present my family in China. And in the picture, it's my nuclear family, and there are four members. It's my dad, my mom, my younger brother, and me. And my family lives in Tianjin, China, which is a province that's close to Beijing, the capital city. Actually, at the beginning, like our family lives in Hebei. It's like an hour drive from Tianjin, another province. But because my dad have his own business built in Tianjin, so my like small family, four of us, all move into this area to support his job. And so There are four members in my family, so everyone kind of like doing different things. So for my dad, because he's a manager and also businessman, he kind of like running three companies in different countries. And my mom is a housewife, but like she always stay at home or sometimes go back to hometown because it's really close. So to look after my grandparents from both sides. And but like she's also accounting, so she sometimes do financial problem solving to other companies, but it's more like a on or like sometimes going around back and forth. So for my brother, he is 6 old younger than me, so he's now a middle schooler and he's almost done his middle school and almost going to high school. And this is the last year for his middle school, and he's going to a new journey to high school. So I'm really forward to that. And me, I'm a like big sister, so now I'm like in the college student and studying California. And this quarter, because I do a exchange program from San Diego, so now I'm literally like in DC and then study and also like do intern in this learning life. So I'm really excited about it. And because in Chinese tradition, it's not just spend time with your nuclear family, like small family, but more important to spend time with your extended families. So this is the picture we took in Spring Festival with like my extended family from my dad's side, and there are totally 17 people in that family. So you can count, actually there's 16 in it because my younger nephew just born last year and this picture takes like few years ago, so I'm really excited to have a new younger nephew. So that's like our new family member comes this year, and he just spent his 100 days anniversary weeks ago. And then, like, cause for our family, we're not just gathering around during Spring Festival, but also, like other festivals such as like Lantern Festival, Qingming Festival, and even like my grandparents' birthday. So, cause my family's tradition is to gather around and spend most of time with family. So I have four cousins, like except my brother, I have four more cousins. So usually, like the adult will spend their time together and they cook and they talk, and me will spend the time with my older siblings and my cousins. So we're like going to play cards and also like go movie theaters and things like spend time with like our generations. And there are like several fun facts in at least my family tradition. And the first one is the New Year's Eve dinner. This is actually like my mom's cook, and she cooked like a whole like table of food, and there's dumplings and there's meat and there's veggie and all of the stuff. And for New Year's Eve dinner in China, it's actually not the January 1st as we think, which is the Spring Festival. The Spring Festival is like one of the biggest of holiday that we celebrate in China uniquely, because for China there's a unique calendar which is the lunar calendar that is completely different from the day that we count as like United States or other countries. So the Spring Festival day, which is the Chinese New Year, it's not January 1st. It always change, but it will really depends on what day the Chinese New Year's Day will be to match with the US or like the a calendar we use universally to match the day like that. And usually we make a lot of food, and you can see there's like lots of them, but like the most common one is a dumpling. Actually, like in my family, we not only eat dumpling in Spring Festival, but also other festival too. Like we literally eat dumpling in every festival. I don't know whether it's like tradition for other families, but for my family, we eat dumpling in Lantern Festival, we eat dumpling in Qingming Festival, we eat dumpling even in parents' birthday. So like it's really like a something like we like to like common traits we have. And also like the second one is to gather every festival. Like for my family, like cause we really focusing on like paying attention to family and also spend time with everyone else in this family. So we usually gathered around in our big family group and stay all the festival together. And lastly, it's about the red envelope. I'm not sure whether this is familiar, but like for the red envelope, which will be like given from the elder to the younger, in Spring Festival because this inside the red envelope there's sometimes monies and the money because the money like the 100 yuan in China is red and the envelope is red. So because it's Spring Festival, so it's time for us to celebrate the new year and also the elder will bring good wish and good luck to the younger children. So using the red envelope and red money in China is the red means good luck in China. So they will just use this way to for like elder people to give good wish to the younger, to wish them have a good year, like a good New Year's. Yeah, basically that's all the introduction, a brief introduction about family. Is there any question? I saw there's some question in the chat, probably.
Great. Yes. And let's if you can close down your
Yeah.
slide so that we can all see each other. It'd be great to get questions from folks. Do you guys want to, we do have questions, which is great, in the Zoom chat, but if you also have additional questions, you can also write them in the Zoom chat, or you can just raise your hand electronically and then I'll see you. Who would like to go first? Uh, Maria from Brazil.
Yes, sorry. I couldn't raise my hand here on Zoom. I was looking for it, but thank you. Our internet, sorry. Hello, everybody. So, I'm Maria, and this is my mom. Everybody call her Shiz. Her name is Shizleni, but Shiz is her nickname. Our internet connection today is not very good, so I was trying translating to her your presentation. It was lovely to know a little bit more about your family, and your traditions. Uh, I don't know if you understood it correctly because of the internet connection, but you were talking about your nephew and that he celebrated 100 weeks birthday. Is that correct, or 100 days? We would like to know a little bit more about these traditions of celebrating the birthday, the date differently than we do.
Oh yeah. Actually, like there's always the birthday, like yearly birthday, like first year, like second year as us. But this 100 days is kind of like really special for Chinese because this 100 days, because for like like the infants, they are really weak, and also for China, because there's those wars days, and also like there's the day that you're starving people, like the younger children cannot leave like 100 days, sometimes like 100 days. So that's where like they create this 100 day, like it's a integrate integer. So like they create this 100 day anniversary to celebrate their lives in a way. Although like it's kind of like a sad tradition, but now it's more like a happy to like celebrate their like strive and also for like I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but it's a way to make family gather together. Because if it's a celebration, people would like bring food and bring all those like sometimes give like the young children money and then to like gather around and make people to celebrate together.
Hmm. So interesting
Thank
that
you.
it sounds like
Okay.
it's like high infant mortality rates essentially
Hmm.
in the history
Yeah,
of China has kind of inscribed itself in the tradition so that it's now kind of I mean it's now taken for granted that most kids probably, survive 100 days, but
yeah.
there was a time when that was not necessarily the case. Fascinating. Joe.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I'm a parent, and so this is really about feeling like parental. Uh, what are your parents' concerns um, with the political situation right now between the United States and China? Um,
Mm.
are they, I mean, I would be worried. So I was just curious about how they felt about you being here.
Oh, yeah, they're a little bit worried about me. Because also like the situation now, kind of like the Immigration Act, it's kind of like in, intention, and my dad's business is kind of like affected because he's doing this kind of international business. So their concern about me is that they really worried about like it's a little bit like it's too messy here. Like I probably will be like in conflict or something, like I will be caught or like that. So their concern is just, Angel, don't go out if if it's not necessary. That's their thing. So like they really concern my safetyness. So they give me like those time to go back home. And then for example, like they said, oh, you have to go back home before like the day dark because like there will be someone outside probably like unsafe or stuff like that. But like because they can't, the only thing they can do is to let me know rather than like really control me. So they tell me all the time, and I also know this concern. So I'll just, try my best to make them feel I'm safe. And also I will let them know like lots of the situation. For example, like yesterday there's a protest. I let my mom know, and my mom say, you should go. Like you should go away, not go into that. You should go away, go back home. So usually like I told her so she will know the situation here, and also my dad, they will know my situation. Also, there's the social media stuff. And I will also explain to them that like, because like the social media always exaggerate in some way, although like it's a little bit, but like there's still exaggeration. So I'll just let them know that's not too bad. I still have this space for chilling and also safetyness, and the school also concerned our like the safety and also our health. So yeah, I'll just try my best to let them know. And then also like I really appreciate their concern because I know they love me.
Mhm. But it sounds like you're not necessarily following all their directions. You are going out
Now,
at night. But you're probably, I'm guessing, not going to protests and participating in
of course not.
protests. Yeah, yeah. Um, other other questions related to that, to the safety issue before we go on to other questions? So we have some other questions from others here. Let me just scroll through. So I do not remember, Adrian, how your mom's pronounces. Is it Tice?
Very
It is
close.
Tice.
Thais.
Thais, okay.
Yeah.
Thais, great to see you again. And you said, did your family have reservations about studying in the USA, and are many women choosing to be homemakers in China? Is it highly valued in your society? So the you've answered the first question, but what about the second question, which is about are many women choosing to be homemakers in society versus working full time or part time?
I would say like now it's a changing society, even in China. Because in like really the past time, like really like the old time, like women in China usually just stay at home or like whether it's forced or willingly. But now, because Chinese like economic growth and also this kind of international and universal stuff and all like the social media that like can give, women a more like broader sense about how the world works and also
Mhm.
like how they should be independent. And also China, some way they are trying to advocate this independency, although there's conflict because patriarchy it's the block to this because definitely men have want someone to stay at home and help to do all the works, but there is a strike on that. Like for example, my mom is a strike because she is definitely like a pure a housewife at the beginning, like when I was young and my brother was young, but now she's kind of like studying her own business or like the thing like I talked about the accounting stuff. If I taught this presentation several years ago, I wouldn't say that. But now she's having a change. So I wouldn't say like the change is like it's always happening, but like it is happening. Like it is on like the present tense and also ongoing tense. So I really like like my mom's passion and also like because she's 40 now, like she's like really like the time when I said when I was thinking like okay 40 is already like really like a time cannot be changed, but like she changed. So she's my really my way to go and my like navigator. She always gave me all those like good advice to change and also how to be more independent, become yourself. So I love my mom really much. Yes.
That's good. Thank you so much. I was interested because I lived in Germany,
Mm.
where a lot of us Americans, if you had a career, it was put on hold while you're overseas. And we were taught in German class, when we would have to give our professions, and a lot of the women would say, well, I just stay at home. And we were told, no, it's ich bin eine stolze Hausfrau. I'm a very proud housewife. And I was stunned because it's so valued in their society that it's considered a profession, which is very different from here in the US, where I don't know that it's valued as highly and definitely not seen in that way. But to keep the family together is considered extremely valuable and an asset to not just your family, but the society. So I was wondering when you said your mother was at home, how it's seen there in China.
Mhm.
So, but thank
Would
you. I loved your answer and the dynamic that's happening in the
Yeah.
family.
Heist, that gets actually to another question. I mean, if a society really values homemakers who are kind of bringing in and nurturing the family, in Germany, are mothers paid or fathers paid who stay home, and the same thing in China. Are they paid for staying home and kind of nurturing the family?
I do know my professor said in Germany, yes, so there was a stipend for the stay-at-home mom, and not sure that today things are changing and there are more women going back to work, but she said yes, that there was actually a stipend as well as Kindergeld, which is a stipend for children through age 18. So they make it financially possible for mothers to stay home. And then for those who work, because again, like you said, times are changing. So there are more women who are working as well in two-parent households. The paternity and maternity leave are amazing. So a lot of children still don't have to go to daycare. They can stay home with either parent for the first 6 years of life, because I think some of the financial help from the government as well.
Right. And Angel, any sense of whether or not parents who stay home with their kids are they paid to do so?
No.
Okay.
I think this is the difference because they are valued and they work are seen in, I think it's in Germany or other countries sometimes, but in China, housewife is kind of like the lowest job. That's really kind of like unpaid nanny.
Mm,
Like no one give them value. So I think that's the reason why like women in China try to advocate for like striving rather than stay at home. If
mm,
they can get really like treated as someone really important as the bonding of the family, I think they will be really highly valued of this job, or like we can call it a job. But
mm,
in China, no one see it as a job. It
mm,
seems like it's your responsibility because you're a woman and you have those baby, and so you have the responsibility to do that,
mm,
but like they do not see as a actual work, or like those like messy trivial work that really like like causing people stress and all those like anxieties, and they didn't see that. Like they only see the surface, say, oh, you are just a housewife, the only thing you have to do is to stay at home and then look after the baby, and you didn't take it good care.
mm,
So that's where I think like now, because China have really like the low of baby boom, like baby births, like the numbers just decrease sharply. So I think that's really one of the reasons. Although like people like, because women's are trying to strive, but the idea of the country or like the patriarchy, it's still there. So although like it's changing, but the sticky like stereotype and also the thoughts people have are still having those, oh, you should do this, you should do that. But
yeah.
like women themselves changed, so they strive for themselves, and then they stop to doing like those things and start to find a job in outside
Yeah.
places and to be independent.
So we need to move on, but this was really fascinating, Angel. And I want to take a photo before we move on of everybody. We've got some folks connecting with or connecting and having obviously some connection issues, but also I also want to know. So Adrian and Jocelyn are kindly taking attendance. And so I think in most of your cases, we know what city and country you're from, but if you can also share with Adrian and or Jocelyn your Facebook profile, because we keep track of people's Facebook profiles as well, that would be much appreciated. You don't have to share it with all of us, or you can share it with all of us, but please do share that either privately or publicly. Just put the link to your Facebook profile. That's the easiest thing rather than your name, because there are over 1 billion people on Facebook. So we may not find you if you just put your name. Okay, so and if you've already done so, like previously, you don't need to do it because we have a record of you. So let me take quickly a screenshot, then we are going to move on to Chia from Cameroon. So on three, if you could have your camera on, turn on your camera, face the light, and smile. One, two, three, smile. And fantastic. Just want to make sure we had the excellent, perfect. And I do want to remind Juliana and Maria, you guys are both from Brazil. Do you want to quickly just mention what cities you're in so that you recognize where you're each coming because you don't know each other?
Yeah. Um, I already messaged her on the
Oh, you
chat.
did. Oh,
Yes.
okay, good. So you guys are communicating. Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, you should definitely connect and get connect on Facebook and so on. So, all right, Chia, you are next, and Mari, you're taking your timing. Okay. So Chia is joining from United Arab Emirates. I don't know how good his connection is, but let's find out.
Thank you, Paul. Actually, I had an issue today with my with our data, our Wi-Fi in our flat, so I had to shift to a friend place, so I couldn't miss the presentation. So, can you see my screen?
No, not yet. You'll have to try to share it again. And if you have trouble, what we may do
You can
is
see now.
just let you figure that out, and have Adrian go next, in the interest of time. So we'll give you another 30 seconds to figure it out.
I I think all all right. It's okay now. You can see.
Nope.
All right. Entire screen. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like you may be having trouble. What you may want to do also, I think what we're going to do is have Adrian present, but then if you can, in the meantime, Chia, send us, you can do it through the Facebook group if you want. Send your slides to us or a link to your slides if you can put it in a Google Drive document or some sort of document, or you can just try to share all the slides, then we can show it for you if you're having trouble. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll let you figure that out. And Adrian, you are next.
Sounds good. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me share my screen. Can we see this?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. Um, Dang it, it will not let me. Sorry, let me redo this real quick. It went forward before I was ready. As I get it set up, my name is Adrian Mata. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. Thank you for everybody tapping in from across the world. I am a current student at American University. I'm studying international relations and pursuing a minor in Spanish. So hopefully I can tap into some bilinguacy. Um, we'll get started. We do not have many family pictures in my family, and I realized this when I was scrolling through our camera rolls. So this has four members of my family, and then you'll see one more in the next slide. So here we have my dad, his name is David. My mom, beautiful mom, she's also on the call today. If you didn't see her, name is Thais. My older brother, excuse me, his name is Sebastian, and myself, I'm Adrian. One thing about our family, if you haven't heard throughout the call, is we are a military family. So, uh, most of my life, about half of it, has been spent overseas in multiple Marine Corps, Army, Air Force bases. This one was in Okinawa, Japan. So even though usually surrounded by more Americans and more military members, um, our family loves to get into the culture and get into Japan and Okinawa and see what it holds. So this is this was when I was fifth grade, sixth grade on our tour in Japan. Next is my lovely younger sister, McKinley. This was when we moved back to the States. So this is our first, I think, week back in the States in many years. She is now in middle school. So this is a good couple years on her. And she's a ball of energy, in case you can't tell. Um, One thing I did want to include was in our tour in Germany, we had the pleasure of meeting a family of Afghan refugees, and they invited us to share a meal with them. Mom, if you want to jump in at any point, feel free to, because my mom is still in contact with this family and definitely knows more about them current day than I do. But it was a lovely meal. Like I said, older brother, it's myself, this is my younger sister, and my dad and mom are on the other side of the table. But it was a great time to one connect over food. One thing that we've talked about on some other calls with Learning Life is culinary diplomacy is a thing, and that food can really bring people together. Um, Whether it's sharing the culture and the story behind the food, we had a lot of uh, dishes that are central to Afghan culture, but also the conversations that happen over the dinner. We learned some about their story, fleeing from the Taliban, how their house was burned down, um, some of the struggles that they were experiencing not only then, but also in Germany as Afghans, kind of what that looks like, how they're making ends meet and how they're all making the best of their situation, even though I don't remember how many were in this exact living space, but it was a decently large family for what what is a pretty smaller space for that many people. So overall, lovely experience, but that's all I have, and I'm free to answer any questions. And I can't see the chat right now.
I had
So
one question, Adrian. Where are all the lovely pictures I sent you?
what do you mean? These were the photos I received that I
The
saw at
last
least.
one.
Is there one more?
No, it's okay. To piggyback on what Adrian said, this particular meal was very special to us. I reached out. This family was in need of a few things as they resettled in Germany. And they stuck out to me because it was during a time when we were helping a lot of Ukrainian refugees in Germany. And I saw an Afghan family, and my heart kind of tugged there because the Ukrainians were getting so much assistance that some of the other refugees were kind of falling through the cracks. Um, and so I reached out, provided, different things for them, and we became friends. And at the end of Ramadan, they insisted on inviting us over, which was very heartwarming to me because I'm looking at their situation and they're sharing everything that they had with us. And during that time, I learned about the different spices and why those were important, and a little bit about, again, the story in Afghanistan. I talked to them a lot about what was going on with their situation in Germany, because again, it was a little contention because Ukrainians were coming in, which was pushing a lot of the other refugees to the back as far as services and resources. Um, so it's particularly interesting. We've become great friends during that time, helping with even me living here. They would like to maybe move to the US, helping to facilitate that. So it's been a joy. But for us, we've traveled quite a bit, living overseas for 10 years. And the travel in itself has been a diplomacy for me. It's never been just seeing the icons. That's of course part of it. Yeah, we got to see this building or that building. A lot of it is food, a lot of cooking classes because I've learned so much about the culture through cooking classes. From small things like my son was about to dump the little bit of a tomato sauce that was left in a jar, and the cooking instruction was like, no, in Italy we never do that. because we had so little resources. You swish it around with water, you get every drop of tomato sauce out of there. Um, so we do a lot of cultural events when we're traveling. So if we're in Thailand, I the kids have done Muay Thai boxing. If we're in Japan, they take taiko drum classes. But it's important to me that they actually are immersed as much as we can as tourists in the culture, that we interact with locals, and we leave something with them, and we take something from them. So it's been a beautiful time for us.
Mm.
And now we're all back in the States. It's been about 2 years. My husband was a career Marine officer, just retired. Sebastian is a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps. He's heading to Pensacola, Florida next weekend for Naval Flight School. So, career military for 3 generations, basically, my father as well. And Adrian's in DC, and my youngest is in the 6th grade.
Wow. Adrian, can you stop sharing so that we can
Sure thing.
get to the group?
Sure thing.
Uh,
Real quick, can
yeah,
everybody see this photo? I want to make sure it showed up.
yeah. Is that your older brother?
It
Or
is my older brother.
okay,
This
gotcha.
is the photo my mom was referring to. I want to make sure it came up on the screen. But yeah, this is like
Good.
2022. He's got some less hair now for the military.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Joseph's got a question.
I do. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it, but this is both for Adrian and Thais. Since you've traveled so much and been immersed in different cultures, is there one tradition from what culture that you thought, wow, wouldn't this be nice if everybody incorporated this?
Well, that's a great
Um,
question.
for me, one of my most memorable Christmases was with a Danish friend, but we were in Australia. And there was singing around the tree, and it was all very traditional Christmas songs. You're holding hands, so there's a physical connection there. The dinner had a lot of fun things, like looking for, I think, an almond and some pudding, but the family connection. And then, because for us, we've moved around so much, and I'm half Jamaican and my husband's Jamaican, so I do have some of my Jamaican culture, and there's different things that we do. But I feel like a lot of the other cultures we've visited, they have very specific things, like even Angel, that everyone does all the time. And so for this family, this was something that they brought us into, that even the mother, who was 79, said, I've been doing since I was a child.
Mm.
So that was nice to me. And then we then adopted an Icelandic tradition of reading every Christmas Eve and eating chocolates, because I love books. So I've kind of forced everyone into it. But so those are something that one of the things we've taken from another culture and brought into our own. But I think just this sense of being with family, and in whatever fun way.
You know,
Adrian?
it's sorry, it's so interesting that you mentioned this about kind of Christmas traditions because one of my most memorable Christmases was actually in Germany when I was in college, and I got together with a friend that I'd known since like fifth or sixth grade, who's German, and spent the Christmas with his family. And what struck me was they actually celebrated a religious holiday together and they lit a candle, they read from the Bible, I think it was, and so it was just because I came from a pretty much non-religious family. It was just striking in part because of that and in part because in the United States, like it seems like at least in my experience, a lot of our Christmas is just it's gift exchange. And it's not actually participating in some sort of rituals together other than the gift exchange, which is a
Yeah.
kind of ritual in itself, but it's very kind of materially centric. And I
Yeah.
remember like my niece, when she was a young kid, she got used to the fact that it was all gift centric, so that she would open the gifts and not even look at the gift. She would look at us to see the reaction on our faces. And she was more interested in kind of like how we reacted to
Yeah.
the gifts than she was the gift
The
itself, which
gift
to me
itself.
suggested that, what kids want is more than anything is love and kind of interaction with people. They don't care that much about the gifts, but we just make such a thing of, because we tend to be more materialistic of like gift, gift, gift. So this, this idea that the Swedish family holding hands, singing together, and so on is just so different,
Very.
different ways, yeah, and signal different things about what we value, I guess.
Hmm. Exactly.
Adrian,
No,
did you have a
funnily enough, it was the exact same thing.
okay.
Because I was gonna mention how I don't feel like beyond the gift opening on Christmas Day, our family has had a tradition minus that book reading and book exchange. And I remember that we got that, from another culture. And I love it because it's we do a raffle and we put all of our names in and you pick the name and that's who you are giving the gifts to. So it's fun because you can also tailor a gift to the person that you like based on something you know of the person. If it's my sister, I know her interests are going to be different from my dad. And it's just enjoyable because it's also prior to Christmas. I think we do it. Mom, do we do it the Christmas Eve or just like
The books?
yeah.
Yes, yes, Christmas Eve. So, and
Yeah.
like you said, we're drawing names. So you're buying a book for someone else and having to think about what they might like and
Yeah.
that
So
sort of.
me personally, that's just what I love because it's more than just the Christmas and the gifts. Um, and
Oh, I can stop there. Just buy the books.
I'd be fine. But also, because, sometimes gifts get wrapped up in like how much money are you spending? In our family, it's perfectly acceptable to like get a book from the library and like, hey, this is what you're going to read for the day. And if you like it, you can keep renting it out. So this does take away some of the pressure of like getting a gift and buying a book. It's just giving it. And I love that.
Mm. Maria.
So, Adrian, Thais, thank you so much for sharing. It was very interesting. This question is actually from my mom. I'm going to translate it for you. Um, so Thais was sharing that she always made sure to get to know the culture of the country you were living and made sure that you all get involved with the locals and stuff. And my mom would like to know if that's somehow influenced in your decision to graduate in international relations, because I think I mentioned that the our last meeting, I'm also a graduate in international relations, and she was just like thinking how our experiences are so different. Like I've never left Brazil. I never had contact with other cultures that deeply like you had. And she was just like thinking it's very interesting how this is different. And she would like to know if that influenced you and if you are planning to work in that aspect with diplomacy and stuff like that.
That is a wonderful question. Thank you so much. The answer is yes. That is probably the leading reason I'm going into international relations, and I'm particularly pursuing diplomacy. Um, my goal right now is maybe work with the government in diplomacy, but I mean, even if it's a company that works overseas, being with so many cultures in Japan, I know my mom and my brother took a day and they went, I don't remember where it was because I wasn't there, but they wore the kimono, the garment for Japanese culture. Um, in in Germany, we had local friends and we'd go to bakeries with them and we'd get our food and produce from local stores. So just knowing that there's so much more outside of the US makes me want to explore that. So answer is yes.
Mhm. We have a comment here, and I'm wondering if Jocelyn, you would kind of elaborate on what you pointed out about holidays, because you're coming to this from a Mexican American perspective and kind of celebrate in a Mexican way your holidays. So just tell us about that and the differences, if any, that you see that between Mexican and American ways of celebrating. I guess it would be Christmas.
Yeah, oh well, is the audio okay
Yeah.
first off? Okay. Yeah, for me, I think I've always grown up with a lot of like with my family, of course, and then all my neighbors are like Mexican. So I live in an apartment, and I've always lived in apartments rather than like a home. So for me, even if I wasn't necessarily related to them, Christmas was just a big community thing because, especially for a lot of at least Mexican families, we are Catholic or just religious. So a lot of it would be, oh, come to our like, it's about like 9 days of praying. So it'd be come pray, like come with us, and at the end, like we give out bread, we give out sweets, we give out like hot chocolate, Mexican hot chocolate, or like this other drink that's like a sweetened rice kind of drink, tea, coffee, and it's just I know for my mom who was more like in the rural like towns, instead of like giving out bread because that was kind of expensive sometimes too, just like peanuts and like little mandarins. Uh, I see like Maria like can probably relate to that, and so we try to do that too, kind of to like remember the past because I know for me like or my parents kind of want to move forward and we give like bars of chocolates instead and like Oreo cookies. But like that wasn't like instead for them in their generation when they were younger, it was animal cookies, which are a little bit more simple maybe and cheaper. And like again, the peanuts, maybe like almonds, a little mandarin, maybe a candy if it could be afforded. Um, but it was kind of those simple things that were kind of like sweet treats for them. And so we try to do that too. We make goodie bags essentially that we also give out. So I do that every Christmas. And I make them with like my best friend and we come together and we just talk and we fill the goodies. And like it's so fun because then I give them out to the kids and then I go to the parents, of course, but kids first. And
And
so
when you give those gifts, I'm sorry, I miss this. Do you give it just to family members, or you said community members?
no, to everyone who attends. So it's kind of like I guess a public event, if you would say, because we have a parking space in the back. We like just ask like the people if we can use their parking space, and they gladly move it. Like that's never an issue, compared to maybe a party, like because it's for religious things. And if you have a baby Jesus. Some neighbors have also, and they bring theirs. And now there's like a table full of multiple baby Jesus. And last year we even had like a tiny one, like this small maybe,
Hmm.
which was so cute.
Yeah, so it's a communal thing. It sounds
It
like it's
really
a
is.
like a neighborhood slash building thing. You guys come
Hmm.
together and you celebrate the holiday together.
Yeah, and
Huh.
it's just giving a lot of thanks and just like that we're here and that we can kind of, at the end of the day, it is giving thanks to God, but at least for me also, it's just like there's a community sense here that I don't think a lot of maybe American families do. I think of like maybe stereotypical like knocking on doors and singing Christmas carols,
Hmm.
but I figure that that's not really like present as much as it used to be maybe. Yeah.
Not only that, but it's you guys are actually building relationships to potentially when you get together as a group at a at the kind of like common space at a building.
Yeah.
It's you're building relationships with your neighbors as opposed to just
Yeah.
your family. Whereas you're right, like Christmas caroling, going from house to house, you're not really building a relationship with those people. They're
No.
just coming by and singing songs.
And they might close the door on you. They don't really want to hear it sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
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 Fascinating. So we are approaching the end, and so I totally underestimated the amount of time that each of these presentations would take, and the fact that it just spurs lots of good conversation. So I think for this coming one, we are going to give Chia, if Chia, I don't know if you're going to be available for our next meeting on May today April. I think it's May 4th is the next meeting. It's the first Sunday of every month. But if possible, have you present then. And I really apologize that we were not able to get to Chia today. Um, I do want though to see if there are any other questions quickly because we otherwise need to conclude. Any other questions, burning questions for Adrián? Yeah, Thais, for your own son.
No, it was for Angel.
Go ahead.
Just wondering quickly, I had a roommate in university who was from Korea, and her parents were very concerned about her adopting Western ways and values. And just want has that been any issue for your family?
I would say for my family, my dad kind of embraced it in a way, because I think it's more like a personal choice on what kind of culture do you think it's benefit you and your family. Because it's really depends on how you will think about where you want to live and which kind of culture you really want to embrace in. I would say for me, I'm really proud of my Chinese culture, and also I'm really like sometimes want to learn from US and also all those ideas. So I'm kind of like both. I'm kind of a mix. So sometimes I will have conflict with my dad and my mom, think about, like, for example, the gender problem and also the race problem. They didn't, because in China there's not many race, like ethnicity, like this
Yeah.
concerns, but here there's a lot.
Yeah.
So all those are the questions that I'm trying to struggle with, and I'm sometimes feel pushed and pressured because I both need to like follow myself because I love some of the idea come from US, which they did not live in US any all. And then sometimes I also like feel good with my Chinese culture. Sometimes it's conflict in US that's not none of them happened here. So that's really a thing that you have to I would say harmonious, because all of them are, there's no good or bad on any culture. So it's just more like, do you want to listen to yourself, or like you really want to like want your parents or like the Korean. I think the Korean girl could probably like, because she wants like, because she studied here like a lot than her family or his family. So that would probably like, it's more like a talky thing, like communication, I think is also one of the important thing, like
Sure.
to make your parents listen to you. Although like sometimes parents don't listen to you, I get that. But like but yeah, like that's also an important point, to just making sure like everyone try to and at least not understand you, but at least like embrace it, to say, I I don't
Have the
agree.
dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree, but like I can understand. I allowed it. That's the least. But like sometimes it's easier for you to just say, "Oh yeah, okay, let's talk about this."
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I feel.
I love
Unfortunately,
that.
so Itai had, who was joining us from Zimbabwe. I had a question, but we just lost him, unfortunately. But these dialogues are awesome. I love the fact that we're getting into kind of really interesting conversations about a whole variety of things, and also just learning more about you guys. So. I am looking forward to our next dialogue. I want to apologize again to Chia that A, we ran out of time, and then B, we had those technical issues. Chia, I do recommend that you send me your slides just in case we have this problem next time, so that we can just have them ready and then you can just present. So go ahead and send them to me today if you can, and we'll figure that stuff out. Um, uh, I think next time, Joe, you are presenting as well. And Nusrat, who's joining us from Bangladesh, and I don't know if you're listening, we were going to have three of you. I think what I'm going to do is just say three of you possibly. So it would be the three of you. So Chia from Cameroon, Joe from the United States, Nusrat from Bangladesh. But if we only get to two of you, we'll definitely have the third person go the next time. Um, in the meantime, thank you all for joining. I hope you join us again at these monthly meetings. We are going to be hopefully slowly, gradually growing the number of people participating in these as we go. And there are, for those, I just want to remind those of you who are interested, you have the ability to get a certificate of completion if you attend a certain number of the dialogues. You have to attend at least six of the nine dialogues to get a certificate of completion, and then you can get one with honors. And those details I will be sending via email or social media, actually. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciated our presentations. So from Angel and Adrian, and thanks to all of you for participating in various ways. See you on May 4th. Bye, everybody.
Have a good day, everybody.